Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I Overreacting? And it's by user Specialist Top 9800. Am I the a-hole for kicking my aunt out of my house after she flirted with my boyfriend at my 17th birthday party? So I, 17 female, had my birthday party last weekend. My mom was out of town for work, so I was allowed to have a small party at our house with some friends, snacks, music, etc. My boyfriend, 18 male, let's call him Zach, came over early to help set up. We've been dating for 8 months and things are great, like I really trust him. Enter my aunt Crystal, 32 female. She's my mom's younger sister and she's always been eccentric. She's really into astrology, drinks kombucha like water, and constantly brags about how she still gets carded at bars. She doesn't. She wasn't technically invited, but she just happened to be in the neighborhood and came by to drop off a gift. I wasn't going to be rude, so I let her stay for a bit. That's when things started getting weird. First, she says to Zach, "Oh wow, your jawline is doing some serious damage. You sure you're not 25? And literally winks at him. Zach looked so uncomfortable, and I laughed it off at first, thinking she was just being awkward Auntie Crystal, but it got worse. She started doing things like sitting really close to him on the couch, twirling her hair and asking him if he wanted a real woman's opinion on his cologne. Like, what? I pulled her aside and asked her what she was doing, and she goes, "Relax, sweetie. If he's worth keeping, a little competition shouldn't scare you." I saw red. I told her to leave immediately. She got super offended and started saying I was insecure and projecting, and that I clearly don't understand grown-up relationships. My friends backed me up. Zach looked like he wanted to disappear, and eventually she stormed out, muttering something about how my generation is too sensitive. My mom came back the next day and said I overreacted and should have just ignored her because that's just how Crystal is. Now I'm grounded for disrespecting family. So Reddit, am I overreacting for kicking out my aunt for being gross to my boyfriend at my birthday party? Not at all, OP. You didn't overreact. You set a boundary where no one else would. Crystal crossed a line multiple times. That's not just how she is. What a stupid thing to say. That's predatory behavior. Your boyfriend was uncomfortable. Your friends saw it. You addressed it directly and respectfully. And when she doubled down with that idiotic line about if he's worth keeping, then some competition shouldn't scare you. Ew. But you held the line, OP. That's maturity, not disrespect. Now, unfortunately, your mom's being an a-hole too, because she's basically enabling bad behavior for the sake of family, or that's how she is, or whatever. That's not your job to uphold. Your job is to protect your space, your relationships, and your dignity. So no, OP, you did not disrespect your creepy aunt. You defended your self-respect from someone who forgot what it looks like. Stand tall. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Mara Shrag says, "It's not that you don't understand adult relationships, it's that she doesn't understand proper adult behavior. She's trying to be a cougar to assuage her insecurities. Instead, she's being creepy as F to her niece's barely legal boyfriend. She needs some serious therapy. Your parents are in the wrong for supporting a grown-ass woman sexually harassing a teenager. Look at these people and learn what not to do when you're on your own." Live Laugh Lol says, "I feel like that's just how she is enabling ways that make other uncomfortable. You shouldn't accept her behavior if it makes you and also your boyfriend uncomfortable. Some people like to flirt for fun, but it should be for fun, and she's not doing that. You're not overreacting. She made it a thing by not respecting you when you confronted her about it." Handicraft Habby2 says, "Not overreacting. I suspect your mom asked Crystal to drop by and check on the party, and mom's own involvement here has given her a biased view of the situation. Once you're ungrounded, don't have friends over anymore. Always leave and go to their house. If your mom asks why, explain that none of them feel comfortable coming over knowing that creepy Crystal could drop by and mom would have her back." And Beck Geomom says, "Not overreacting, not at all. This is how you know you were right and Aunt Crystal was wrong and she knows it. 1. She went crying to your mom, her big sister, about how you embarrassed her and made a big deal out of nothing. 2. She convinced your mom she was just talking to Zach and you overreacted because you're insecure and don't trust him. 3. Your mom said the magic words that all family uses when they don't want to deal with a problem. Overreacted. And that's just how she is. Tell your mom that the reason people get away with bad behavior is because everyone lets them. For over 30 years, your family has been excusing Crystal's behavior. That's just how she is. No, she's 32 now. She can grow up. And 4, you are being punished for something someone else did. I hope you can talk to your mom, explain what happened, and if she trusted you enough to have a party while she was away, why doesn't she trust you to tell her the truth? If she knows how Crystal is, she should be able to see through her BS. Tell your mom it's unfair to punish you for Crystal's behavior. She should lift your punishment and have a talk with her sister. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. My rule was always to believe my children unless I caught them in a lie. Then all bets were off. If your mom trusts you, she should trust you now. The community agrees on multiple fronts. OP is not overreacting. Crystal is definitely a creep and the mom needs to wake up and stop enabling her. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Yeah, so this actually got worse. After I kicked my aunt Crystal, 32 female, out of my birthday for being creepy to my boyfriend, Zach, 18 male, my mom basically told me I was overreacting and didn't have to be so dramatic. I felt so stupid, like I was making it up in my head. But then she messaged Zach at 1:47 a.m. She literally DM'd him on iMessages and said, "Hey, I hope I didn't make you uncomfortable. You're just really mature for your age, and it's rare to find that in teenage boys. Hit me up if you ever need to talk." She added some random-ass emojis. I saw the message with my own eyes. Zach showed me immediately. He looked disgusted. He blocked her. I screenshotted it and showed it to my mom. Her face went completely white, like she finally got it. She finally saw what I was dealing with. She didn't even say anything, just grabbed her phone and walked out of the room. Turns out, she called Crystal and told her she was acting like a pedo and should be arrested, and that she wasn't welcome around me anymore. Floozies being floozies flipped it on me. Said I set her up and I was jealous because I know Zach probably isn't into teenage girls. Yes, she actually said that. Now my mom's trying to do damage control with the rest of the family, but my grandma's saying stuff like, "Teenage girls are too sensitive nowadays." And my cousin texted me, "LMAO, it's not like he slept with her." So basically, I'm the villain now, for not wanting my grown aunt to hit on my boyfriend. Zach's been amazing through all of it. He kept asking if I was okay and said I didn't deserve any of this. I believe him, but I still feel gross. It's like the whole thing turned into some sick game I never agreed to play. Anyway, I blocked that bitch on everything. I told my mom I don't want her in our house again, ever. I feel like I lost respect for half of my family in an effing week, and honestly, I don't even feel like it was just about me. It feels like I had to prove to everyone that something objectively wrong actually was wrong. Well, OP, good for you. Considering what you went through, it sounds like you were the only one in your family who didn't choose denial. Your aunt is definitely a creep, so good for you for getting her out of your life. So on that note, here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user ManBearPigCereal. Am I the a-hole for not giving legal advice at a party to someone I just met? Hi everyone, this actually happened last night. I was at my brother's place for an NFL draft party. I haven't seen my brother in a couple of weeks, and my brother and I live a couple of hours from each other because I moved away, so I haven't seen a lot of his friends in years. I also have not met most of my brother's girlfriend's family and friends, because she comes from a town a couple of hours from where they currently live in the opposite direction from where I live. My brother and his girlfriend have been together 2 years and are getting engaged next month. At the party, I was talking with a group of people, and one guy, the husband of one of my brother's girlfriend's friends, asked me what I do for a living, and I said I'm an attorney. He then asked me what kind of law I practice, and I could already see where this was going. He then started into a, "So, I'm having a problem with one of my neighbors" story. As he was launching into his story, I reached in my pocket and gave him my card and told him to call me in the morning to discuss the issue. He got upset and said, "Why can't I just answer a couple of quick questions for him since we were both there?" I said I was there to see my brother and watch the draft, and didn't want to discuss business right now. As other attorneys will tell you, at social gatherings this is a common thing. Once people find out you're an attorney, they'll try to corner you with a bunch of questions and you're basically back on the clock. Years ago, I decided to do the business card thing instead of answering questions so I could actually enjoy social gatherings. Besides, these things almost never turn into actual business. People just want free legal advice. I've never had any complaints about it before. Anyway, the guy got upset, said something under his breath and stormed off. The other people standing there all made a face as he stormed off and we went right back into our conversation. That was it, or so I thought. The rest of the night was fine and it was never brought up again. We enjoyed the draft and I enjoyed seeing my brother's knuckle-headed friends these years later. Then I got a text from my brother this morning and he said, "I want to make this clear. I completely understand why you did what you did. He has seen it happen a bunch of times at events and heard me complain about it afterwards. However, his girlfriend is upset that I blew her friend's husband off and wants me to reach out to him, apologize, and answer his questions." My brother said he's on my side and said he told her such, but she made him send the text to me anyway. I believe my brother being on my side and understand he's trying to keep the peace in his relationship. I said, "I'm not texting and apologizing or calling the guy, but he has my card and is welcome to call me. I feel I did nothing wrong. Just because of my job doesn't mean I'm on the clock 24/7. My brother said, "Yeah, I knew you'd say that, but now I can at least tell my girlfriend I tried and that was it with him." Again, I thought this was the end, but it's not. My girlfriend texted my mom and told her what happened. Now, my mom is texting me and saying, "I know it's annoying what this guy did, but can you call this guy so that your relationship with brother's girlfriend isn't negatively affected because she's obviously upset with you?" That my brother is getting engaged to her next month and she's going to be family and there's no need to have a rift when she's about to be family. I said it's too late. The fact that she cried to my mom already created a rift on my end about her now. Again, I declined and my mom said she understand but she doesn't want negative feelings with brother's girlfriend over this. I said no, he can call me and I'll answer any questions he has. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for how I handled this? No, OP, you're not the a-hole. You set a professional boundary politely. He wanted free legal advice at a party. You gave him your card. That's fair. To me, the real issue here is your brother's girlfriend. Instead of talking to you like an adult, she ran to your brother, then your mom, turning a non-issue into a guilt trip. That's just incredibly manipulative of her. If she has a problem, she should speak to you directly. She didn't. She tried to control the narrative behind your back. That says a lot. If I was in your shoes, I'd probably keep the relationship with her civil for your brother's sake, but keep her at a distance. You saw who she is, believe it. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Kitchen Pop 9236 says, "The fact that your brother's girlfriend feels like she has any agency in this situation is strange. Don't apologize for crap. They're mad now. Later they won't be. Not the a-hole." And Dopey responds, "To be honest, I could care less if the guy who lives 4 to 5 hours away that I may never see again except once at their wedding and then never again is mad. I only care about my brother's girlfriend and only to the extent that she's probably giving my brother an earful over it, and that sucks for him, and her being a future part of the family having a rift over something so stupid is unfortunate." The Rowdy Meatball Part 2 says, "Not the a-hole. I'm an attorney and constantly experience the exact same thing. By the way, don't know if you've tried it, but I found, quote, my malpractice insurance doesn't allow me to talk to you about this unless you come in for a consult, which I have to charge for, to be helpful." Dull Vegetable 5254 says, "Not the a-hole. People, even family and friends, must understand that there are set boundaries. Your time, expertise, and education have value. Just because someone knows you personally doesn't mean they're entitled to free legal advice or services. Respecting your work means they're respecting your process. Also, girlfriend sounds like a red flag, considering she even texted your mom. And Dopey responds, yeah, I was minorly annoyed she had my brother reach out to me, but once she got my mom involved, now I'm actually annoyed. Book It Pizza Champion says, if I were your brother, this would be a wake-up call for me. She isn't above looping in whomever she wants, their business or not, to get her way. I can't even imagine what any marital arguments will get spread around until he feels publicly shamed into submission. Also, what happens when and if they have children and disagree on something? She's going to send a group of flying monkeys after him. I would also tell your mom, today it's me, tomorrow it could be you. What happens when you don't do something she wants when it comes to the wedding? You're asking me to cave to keep the peace, and it will let her know that if she throws a big enough tantrum, we'll buckle. I love my brother to death, but I doubt they have many serious arguments. He's a complete pushover. He probably gives in to her pretty quickly if she raises enough of a stink. And Violet Sachet says, this happens to me a lot too. I'm a veterinarian. I've stopped going to most block parties because my neighbors will take turn asking me questions and telling me long stories about how another vet, often a friend of mine, ripped them off, dared to charge for services. I started telling my techs and trainee doctors to come up with fake careers to avoid conversations like this. I have told people on planes that I sell boat insurance. I've also used asphalt testing engineer. The community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that he did the right thing. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. My brother got engaged to the girlfriend referenced in the post a couple of weeks ago. They had a get-together to celebrate their engagement this past weekend. They only invited immediate family and those they expect to be in their wedding party. Full disclosure, her and I aren't close and I don't think we ever will be, but we've remained cordial. I think she knows she has no pull with me, so she went to my brother and mom who she thought would. Anyway, prior to this dinner, my brother had asked me about being his best man last week before the party. But at the dinner, they formally gave gifts to everyone in their wedding party along with officially asking everyone to be in the wedding party. Said brother's fiance's friend's husband was there as well. He is not going to be in the wedding party, but his wife apparently will be. I was there before he was, and when he came in, he made no attempt to come over and say hello to me or the group I was talking with. Fine, I hardly know the guy, so I don't care if he talks to me. For the dinner, there were no assigned seats, but my girlfriend and I happened to be seated not super close to him and his wife, but close enough to where we could hear each other's conversations if we weren't involved in our own conversations. At dinner, I was sitting with my girlfriend next to me on the same side they were seated. On my other side was my sister and her husband, and across from me was some other friends of my brother's fiancé I had never met before this night. My girlfriend was not at the previous event, but I, of course, had told her about the issue. Anyway, my girlfriend and I are making small talk with the friends of my brother's fiancés across from us. And of course, what we all do for a living came up. I said I was attorney, and the guy at that point decided to interject into our conversation and say, "But don't ask him any questions right now. He'll give you his card and tell you to call him during business hours." Now, to make this super clear, when I run into clients in public, I try not to talk about their cases. Attorney-client privilege does not apply if others can hear us. And honestly, if I'm at an event with something else I'd rather focus on, like my brother's engagement dinner, I'm going to shut that down and say we'll talk later. This wasn't about being rude, it's about boundaries. I'm not on the clock just because I said what I do for a living. I gave the guy my card. If he really wanted advice, he could have called during business hours. He didn't, and at this point, I doubt he ever will. Having said that, to my delight and his horror, one of the friends we were talking to responded and said, "Yeah, of course, I'd hardly expect him to give me legal advice at his brother's engagement party." I had to hide my smile when the friend said that response because I wanted to laugh so hard when she said that. He made an angry face, mumbled something to his wife who told him to drop it, and then I don't think he said a word again for the rest of the night. Thanks for reading. Well, OP, this guy's not gonna be a bother anymore apparently because he got smacked down by one of his friends or one of his acquaintances, but still, I think the bigger issue here is your future sister-in-law. It's a good thing she doesn't have any pull on you. Your brother might need your help in the future. Hopefully that's just a really bad assumption on my part. In any case, here's wishing you the best, OP. Thanks for sharing and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.